Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider. Share and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
From Colonel Samuel Smith Park at the Humber College South Campus at Etobicoke in Toronto, Canada, this is the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup, thanks to Payable apps. We are on semi-final day for the women's, day 7 of this 10-day tournament, and we have finally reached the actual semi-final stage. Earlier we had Colombia beat France in a 5th versus 6th contest. Today we have Great Britain versus Ireland. These two met at the 2017 AFL International Cup semi-final, a game that had maybe a little bit of a controversial finish in the end, at least from the British side of view. Ireland thought it was perfectly fine. They went through and they went on to win the championship against Canada. They met recently in the 2022 AFL European Championships, but Ireland smashed Great Britain by 115 points. I have a feeling today will be a bit different. Introducing our commentary team for today. First of all, I start to my left. A very good afternoon to one Patrick McNeil.
Good afternoon to you as well, Peter. I'm very excited to watch this matchup between two longtime rivals, regardless of the sport. And as you said, it's going to be a lot different than that 2022 encounter. Probably more similar to the 2017 encounter that they had in the International Cup.
Let's go through our Vision Glass standings, and of course we've got Group A and Group B, the Americas group and the European group.
Yeah, and during the group stage, the teams played teams from the opposing group, and of course now they get to play their traditional geographical rivals. These two teams were 1 and 2 in the European pool, Group B. Ireland finishing ahead on percentage, but that goes out the window now, and Ireland and Great Britain on even footing as we get ready for this semi-final contest.
Let's go through our key players of the game, thanks to Payable apps.
Shannon Stevenson, established goal kicker in this tournament for the Irish. They'll be looking to get some offense off the boot of her. And, of course, for Great Britain, we have Carissa Turner, and she's a vice captain, plays for the Cardiff Panthers. She'll be key in the ruck for Great Britain.
Let's check out the keys of the game, thanks to There Live, the exclusive broadcast partner of the AFL Transatlantic Cup, therelive.com.
Ireland looking to wear the defense down. A lot of pressure from the Irish in the round-robin stage. They want to win the battle along the ground. Good conditions for that today. Constant rotations keep fresh. Long tournament in a short period of time. For their opponents at Great Britain, they're looking to hit out to advantage, hit targets. Execution is important, and they don't want to back down from that before-mentioned pressure from the Irish.
And I can't say for a semi-final day, we got 3 members on our commentary team. Let's go down to that third member. Boundary side, it's the US AFL's Brian Barish.
Thank you very much, Pete. You know, I was at that semi-final game in 2017. Conditions much different then on a winter day in Melbourne to summer here in Toronto. It's about 25 degrees Celsius. The humidity is going to be a factor. The humidity is about 85%, but the question will be, how long can these two teams stand this muggy weather? We'll see how we go in the next 70 minutes.
It's time to get a prediction on who will win this game. Patrick McNeil, who do you feel will win and by how much?
Wow, predictions are fool's gold. Peter Holden putting me on the spot. I think the Irish have to be favored. I think it's going to be a close game. I will say the Irish by 7. Lucky 7.
I'm going to lean the opposite way, and I still think it will be a close game, though. I think Great Britain by 4 points. Great Britain will be kicking to the right of screen, which is the visitmississauga.ca end of the ground. The Irish kicking to the left of screen, the Toronto City Centre end. Not too far from getting away in this semi-final of the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup. Here is Patrick McNeil.
And it is Great Britain in blue, the Swans, and the Irish Banshees are in green. Great day for football here on the campus of Humber College. And again, this is winner goes to the final. Consequences easy to understand. Winner will play in the grand final on Sunday. We have the ball up and it's tapped out by Great Britain. Again, it is the Great Britain Swans. Both these teams 2-1 in round robin play. As the ball in Irish hands, it's kicked out towards the left side. Ball will go bouncing along the ground. Comes to the boundary on the E there. Live broadcast location. Great Britain hands kick along the boundary. Is that going to stay in? No, that it's going to dribble out of a play. And we'll get our first stoppage. Comes in not 20 seconds into the contest.
And nearly took out Brian Barish on the way through as well. Umpires actually pulled out a free kick. Actually, not a free kick. Lasso rule comes into play because we are playing kind of AFLW rules. In AFLW, they play 16 aside. We're playing 18 aside today. And the Lasso free kick occurs between the two centre arcs. The last disposal out of bounds means the opposition gets the resulting free kick. Going around there was Casserly there for the Irish. She couldn't get the football out. Sophie Bennett there as well. She's being harassed. Over the top of her is Condon. She can't pull out the ball. Umpire blows the whistle and says, I'll take the football back, please. And we'll call for a ball up right on the half-forward flank for the Irish. Again, attacking left of screen. Ball high in the air we go. One out on that occasion by Turner. Umpire's blown the whistle. That's the umpire off in the distance, saying there was holding in the ruck contest. It's a free kick, and it's going the way of the Irish. Going to end up in the hands of Walsh.
Yeah, the vice captain Annie Walsh with a nice kick to mark that. That's Shannon Stevenson. We talked about her and her players to watch, and she had a tremendous performance in the round robin. What a heavy boot coming out towards the goal square, going through. That is on the ground. Looks like it was touched along the ground. Opportunity in the goal square. Kick on the ground, and it is goal Ireland, opening the scoring, and it is Irish eyes smiling, and that is going to be off the boot of Rachel O'Shea. Did a great job flooding the goal square. She picks up the trash, so to speak, and gets the Irish on the board.
Rachel O'Shea making her international debut this tournament, comes out of the Cork Vikings, hometown of Pilltown, just 22 years old, and gives the Irish the early advantage. The Banshees, 1 straight 6. Great Britain yet to score here on the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup Payable app scoreboard. You just saw the eThere live replay. Magnificent action being captured there by the crew of eThereLive.com. Turner will win the ball in the middle of the ground for the British. Ball is knocked forward. You can see calling for it on the outside is Awana Williams. They can't quite get it to her. Tash Byrne punches the football away. Coming in afterwards is Dara Power. She can't pick it up. Ball going out towards the wing on the Lake Ontario side of the ground. Trying to get a hurry kick away is Alma as she was being pulled to ground. Ball is now taken away though by the Irish by Quiva Condon. Condon out towards the centre wing position. Getting the ball spinning around at a sixpence there is Shauna Kendrick. Did well. The Irish now drive it up towards their half-forward flank. Lake Ontario side of the ground. Almost a one-handed mark pulled in. Umpire says you didn't swallow it. Play on. Stevenson now for the Irish. A long kick towards the goal square. Bouncing football is going across the face. Ball still in play though. Trying to get over the top of the ball. Casserly couldn't pick it up. She got bumped off of it. Hurry kick by the British off the last line of defence.
Yeah, ball in the Irish forward 50. Great Britain trying to relieve the pressure. Contest all on the ground. Hotly contested here in the early part of this one. Of course, Irish up by 6 points. Semi-final Thursday here in this tournament as Kate Murdoch takes possession for Great Britain. Kicks along the right boundary right in front of our eThere live broadcast location. We get a lasso rule as the ball is out of play. Last touch of the means. Ball is in the possession of the Irish. Free kick, again, right in front of our broadcast location. It is going to be Amanda Bronson, the captain of Team Ireland. She'll have a boot. Nice, powerful boot coming off the leg of Amanda Bronson. Ball's up in the air. Nice, clean marking contest won by Ireland. That is going to be Anne-Marie Troy, the Cork Vikings, making her international debut, and she's had an impact in this tournament.
Troy ends up getting on the right boot, hanging in the Stevenson direction. Ball's going to bounce away from her and go over the boundary line and out of bounds. And that is where we'll go. Now, did it go outside of the arc? Yes, it did. So that means it is a free kick lasso rule going the way of Great Britain. I think it's in the hand of Elizabeth Toms. Lizzie Toms goes up. Being held off the ball there, Kate Murdoch. The umpire missed it, but Murdoch goes in to pick it up off the ground. Goes with a bit of grubber kick. McInerney was leading out afterwards, was kind of doing the shepherding work. Pulled away without the football. Free kick not paid. Not happy about it. Callagher going in afterwards. There is Tash Byrne. She couldn't pick up clean possession of the football, but did some shepherding work for Quiva Condon. Kick came off the side of the boot. The Swans still pressing forward. It's at their half-forward flank position. Bit of a mad scramble going on at the moment. Ends up with Katie Murdoch. Murdoch wants to try and come inboard with a kick. Bobbled off hands there. Marie getting at it momentarily. Ball hit the deck. Everyone's scrambling like you wouldn't believe at the moment as Alma put on the pressure. Intercept ball here for the British. Taken away by Awana Williams. Williams going towards the top of the goal square. Mad run on at the moment. Chasing after it is CJ Murphy. She sees the ball very close to the boundary line. Over and out next to the left-hand point post at the visit Mississauga.can.
Yeah, I thought CJ Murphy might have tried to concede a behind, but the ball will come out the boundary throw in from just to the side of the post. Again, it is 1-0-6 Ireland. No score Great Britain here in this first quarter. Semi-final action. Winner will go on to the grand final on Sunday against the winner of Team Canada and Team USA. Irish in their defensive 50. Ball will be kicked for. That is a nice clean mark there by Elise Dunn of the Cork Vikings. Cork Vikings well represented on this team. She's making her international debut. She's going to back up, take her time here to execute this free kick. Looks like she's going to try to keep it along the left boundary, but finds no Irish hands. Instead finds the ground. Ball tapped forward in dispute along the ground. It is green and blue both battling for it, as kick is spoiled there, but it's picked up again by Christy Martin. And again, some friendly fire there. Booted one of her teammates in the face, but she gets back right up on the horse, as that was Isabella Marino. Now she'll handball it off, as Great Britain looking for a forward 50 entry here, just outside, about 55 meters from the goal square, as the ball kicked forward for Ireland right to the midfield. Thought that might have been a mark there for Shauna Kendrick. It was number 6 on number 6, I thought, as the ball out the back for Great Britain. Play in the middle of the field now, socketed along the turf by Great Britain. Great Britain in blue, as ball on the ground, and not a lot of prior opportunity there. Looks like we'll see a ball up.
And it looks like we've got a player down behind play at the moment. Brian Barish will keep an eye on that for us. And might be even be 2 players, 1 British player down and 1 Irish player slow to get to their feet. Umpires blowing time on for both. And we might just take this opportunity as the clock pauses here to thank our sponsors, including Australian High Commission to Canada, for supplying the balls for this tournament. They're responsible for advancing Australia's interests in Canada, canada.embassy.gov.au.
We'll see if we get clarification for Brian. I think that's Jenny Green that's going off, Peter, for Great Britain.
As we said, it's been a war of attrition. I even think the Irish are actually playing 1 player down, because they've nominated 4 players missing from today's game. They can have a squad of 24, and they originally come over with a squad of 27.
Ball up is won by the Irish, but it's going to come to British hands along the ground. And again, that is right next to our eThere live broadcast location, doing a great job of providing the moving pictures for you today. Great contest by both of these teams. Not a lot of time and space. Lots of... well, I said not a lot of available retail, I guess you could say. Ball kicked along the ground. Again, the Great Britain Swans in possession. No prior opportunity there, so play goes right on. The ball will just stay in play, and that will end up being a free kick to Team Ireland. That's going to be Anne-Marie Troy. Brings some height, does Anne-Marie Troy. Both plays in the mid and the forward line. She is the most experienced player on this Irish team. That's shown in spades this tournament. She'll make a centering kick, but it's going to be intercepted by the Great Britain player, as they will relieve the pressure, so to speak, and we'll get back up as we check in with Brian Barish.
Thanks, Pat. That is, in fact, Jenny Green. They were working on her left shin. Looked like a bit of a cramp there. She should be good to go coming in.
Intercept mark here for the Irish on the half-back flank on the eThere live broadcast side of the ground. Here at the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup. A long kick up the line by Grace Oldham. Hands in the air. Couldn't quite put it in, Kendrick. The umpire said didn't hold it for the full-time play on. Susie Carr tried to jump in there. Couldn't get the football out. Done did for the Irish. Now a long kick towards their forward 50. Bouncing football. Numbers back there, including Tetlow for the British. Swings around on the right boot, coming very close towards the boundary line. They've got a fresh player coming off. They can get the hand pass away to it. They can't. Umpire said no opportunity. Being wrapped up there was Marino. Excellent effort there by Anne-Marie Troy. Umpire will take the football back between centre wing and half forward flank.
Yeah, again, that veteran experience of Anne-Marie Troy comes in. Even though there was a handball option, Troy gave no opportunity to get rid of that ball, and gives the Irish a 50-50 chance to win that ball. Now finds itself along the ground here, and once again, no prior opportunity. Seeing both teams doing a pretty good job getting numbers at the contest, and that's going to limit the space. It's going to make it very difficult to get clean possessions. Every single one will be precious. This is won by Great Britain initially, but it's going to be Irish hands on the ball now. Once again, tackles are aplenty. Kick to the forward 50 there, into the pocket by Amanda Bronson. Ball will go dribbling out of play, out of the boundary.
Let's head down boundary side with Brian Barish.
Green, she's now actually sitting down behind the on the edge of the bench there. She does have that left leg already taped up. She might go back in. She is walking a little bit gingerly on it, but I don't think she's done for the day. We may see her a little bit later on. She's getting up and walking around gingerly now.
Bouncing straight back up was Quiva Condon, who kicks it out towards the forward pocket on the Lake Ontario side of the ground. Good body work there by, looks like it was Kirsty Martin, pardon me, who decides to center the football. That was a bit dangerous, heading in the direction of Gonzalez Leyenda. And the umpires pulled out a free kick, and it says going the way of the British, and they'll have the ball in the back pocket, and this is where they'll relieve the pressure. Yeah,
big news for Great Britain there, as Irish obviously pressing. Ireland, the only score of this game, and it was a major one that came earlier in this first quarter. Sorry, getting ahead of ourselves here. Ball kicked along the left boundary. Again, Ireland in green, Great Britain in blue. Ball kicked along the left side of the field as they try to push it back. Ireland going backwards to try to move forward here, as that's out by the AFL Ontario side of the field. Next to the AFL Ontario scoreboard, I should say, Lake Ontario side of the field. Ball kicked up, and it will squirt out of play. 8:07 to go. Ireland 1-0. No score, Great Britain on the Payable app scoreboard.
And we should also mention as well that at this semi-final stage, it's the elimination part of the tournament. It's not like a traditional Aussie rules season where we've played 20-something games and we get to the semi-finals, and the team that's top ranked gets a double chance with a preliminary final that gets the grand final. This is straight up semi-final into final. If you lose, that is you done for winning the championship, but you will have a consolation consolation match to be played on Saturday. Tetlow trying to park herself underneath it there for the British. She dropped the football. Trying to swing around there is Mel Gonzalez-Leander. She gets brought to ground. Umpire blows the whistle and says, "I'll ask for the football back, please." We'll reset ourselves for the ruck contest. Tash Byrne's going to go up for it for the Irish in this contest, up against Turner for the British. One out by Tash Byrne, brought the football to ground. They're trying to look for clean possession there. Once again, it's Quiver Condon. She's been in everything early. It's close towards the boundary line, and I think it may have gone over and out now, and we'll call again for a ball in.
Ball in the pocket there. Irish pressure again. Ball off hands, and not much of a clean restart there, so we'll do that all again. Again, as Peter mentioned, semifinal winner will play the winner of Team Canada and Team USA, and this ball
free kick.
Yeah, finds itself in the hands of Catherine Tash Byrne of the Ulster Kookaburras. 29-year-old ruck woman for Team Ireland has a kick in the forward 50. She'll get a boot towards goal. That's going up, and that is going to go through for a major score. Ireland strikes again. It's 2-0-12. No score. Great Britain. Ireland ahead 12-0 on the Payable app scoreboard. Great start in this first quarter for the Irish.
I tell you what, it's the Irish prisoners, the rundown ability that they've got that's been causing Great Britain all kinds of problems. Let's head down boundary side with Brian Barish.
One of the things I'm noticing on both sides here, Great Britain is really working their interchange bench. They have constant changes. Their rotations are very quick. Ireland not using their bench as much. It'll be interesting to see, especially as the humidity kicks in, if they change their mind.
666 violation against Ireland there, but they get a warning as the umpire throws the football up in the middle of the ground, and away we go again. Give that to the Irish in that contest up against Turner. Hurry kick while being pulled down to ground there was Bronston, and the umpire says, "You're pinned for holding the football." Free kick going the way of the British. So they'll have an opportunity here to try and go straight down the ground. They've only gone inside 51 so far in this quarter. They've had a bit of a drought at the moment, going to the visitmississauga.ca end of the ground. The kick floats over the head of Susan Gallagher on that occasion. You've got to spot your targets when you're playing against a quality side like the Irish. And Brosnan, as I said, perfect example. Hits Marie Keating. Keating swings around towards the centre half forward position, giving space for Condon to run onto. Condon goes with a little hand pass over the top, looking for Stevenson, just short of her. Stevens got us and dance around. Stevenson with the big turn, gets on the right boot towards the top of the goal square, will float across the face, but it still remains in play. Quick hand pass on. Look out, here's trouble. Hand pass away, goal.
Wow, beautiful football by Ireland.
Missed. It's hit the post on the way through. My pardon. Dunn quickly got it off to Tash Byrne, who put it on the left, but it did clip the post.
Yeah, hard not to get excited, though, Peter, about the quality of football we're seeing from Ireland, even if it didn't pay off in the form of a goal there. But that minor score, every score could be important in a game like this. Kick up the middle from the defensive 50, almost intercepted cleanly, and that is going to come into Irish hands. Ball floating around that 50-meter arc as you hear the umpire whistle. And, of course, throughout the day, you'll be hopefully get a chance to hear from the umpires. This case will be a Great Britain free kick, as backing up is the British player trying to kick this out of trouble. It'll be booted along the right boundary. Good job by Troy getting there into space, and that'll allow the Irish to intercept. Centering kick by Team Ireland, and it's not quite marked, but Great Britain will be able to get it out of trouble. Kick up the corridor now. McInerney's after it. Boy, she was a factor in the round robin as well. One of the best on-ground warriors for Great Britain. Ball on the ground again. It's a battle between blue and green, and it will come out to, no one's able to pick it up as of yet, and finally it's going to be broken free by one of the Swans players. Kicked out towards the corridor as a bit of a collision there. A couple of Irish players down, at least temporarily. We'll keep our eyes on that as the ball goes dribbling towards the right side of the field, as Irish players still down there. Again, we'll keep our eye on that story as Marie Keating tries to pick it up, kicks it towards the center, as Irish trying to get it out of trouble, as a ball on that 50-meter arc here in the Mississauga, visit Mississauga.ca end. It's handball forward, British pressure going forward. Ball kicked towards the goal square, going dribbling. Who is going to get to it? All kinds of space, and the ball will go to play.
So the ball does go out of bounds 2 metres around from the left-hand point post, and the player just on hands and knees, Amanda Bronson at the moment for the Irish. Heading to the visit Mississauga.ca end of the ground is the Great Britain Swans as we wait for the ball to come back into play. Turner going up in the contest versus Casserly. Turner wins it down, play on the call you heard from the umpire. Walsh swings it around on the right boot, heading out towards the wing position, half of back flank for the Irish, half forward flank now because taken away by Cherry Halfyard for the British. Umpire said not held, play on. Ball in the middle of the traffic jam. McInerney is in there as well. Can't get the football out. A little bit of shepherding work being done there by Lily Miles and Miles. And the umpire blows the whistle and says, I'll take the football back, please, and call for a ball up on the half-forward flank for the British.
Yeah, British need to take advantage of these forward 50s as most of the ball has been contested in the opposite end of the field. Ball in British hands or British feet, and it'll squirt towards that 50-meter arc again. Contest along the ground once more as Great Britain trying to establish something here. Again, they haven't had a ton of inside 50 pressure thus far in the contest. Ball kicked forward towards the goal square. Goes bouncing. Where is it going to land? It's going to land on Irish arms up the left side of the field. Bouncing, no player near it in either green or blue. Looks like it'll be Irish first to it, and that is going to be Abby Noonan. And she'll go out the back handball as it's kicked along low along the ground, and it's intercepted by Great Britain. No clean mark, but kicked towards the goal up in the air. McInerney's trying to mark it. Beautiful mark there by Great Britain's Athene McInerney, and she'll back up perhaps a contender for the Payable Laps mark of the tournament.
Going to be a difficult shot with the wind blowing across the ground.
McInerney kicks through, and that looks a bit offline, and that should be our first minor score. Confirmed by the umpire. Payable Laps scoreboard changes to Ireland 2-1-13, Great Britain 0-1, 13-1 the score here.
As we wait for the ball to be brought back into play with a minute and a half remaining in this first term.
Moving on.
Umpire says, come on, let's hurry up. Let's get this game going. We're playing 17.5 minute quarters with no time on for injuries. Good mark swallowed there on the half-back flank. On the Lake Ontario side of the ground. You can see the Irish know how much time is left. They're slowing it down as it's taken by Lawler, who will go up the line. Was trying to find Stevenson a long way out from home. She's really dragged a defender up the line there in Lizzie Toms. Very close towards the boundary line now. It has gone over and out. They're asking the question if it should be a lasso kick. It is not. It'll be a throw-in. Let's head boundary side with Brian Barish.
Quick update on the Irish captain, Amanda Brosnan. It looks like they're more concerned about her overheating. She has just a wet towel on her, but looks like she'll be back in the game after that knock.
Well, I think quarter time might come at a good time for the Irish, as obviously they don't want to be without their captain, Amanda Bronson, but that's good news to hear that we're likely to see her back in action as we get a boundary throw-in close to that AFL Ontario scoreboard on the Lake Ontario side of the field, opposite of our There Live broadcast location. Ball is available on the ground. It's going to be won out by Christy Martin for Great Britain. Kick forward again. It's on that opposite side of us on the Lake Ontario. Going for a run is Great Britain. Ball is up. Marking contest, not won cleanly. Ball still available for whoever wants it. And we've got a battle. Both teams in the contest there, as getting a kick on that was the vice captain, Annie Walsh, as we're ticking down here, and that's going to be a free kick Ireland. Dara Power, as she'll probably know to milk the clock, Peter.
And Dara Power first played Aussie rules here in Toronto back in 2020 with the Central Blues as part of the AFL Ontario competition. Kicks it up the line towards the position between halfback flank and centre wing. Plenty of British players there trying to extract the ball away. It was Alex Stevens, but the umpire had already blown the whistle, and that won't matter anyway because the siren has sounded for quarter time. Ireland 2-1-13, leading Great Britain 1 behind. Brian Barish is going to go listen in the huddles and tell us what the coaches have to say. The Irish on top at the moment, no question about that. Dominating possession, the scoreboard is in their favour. But if you've got your captain starting to overheat at the moment, and we saw with their men's side how they had a number of injuries, maybe it's the patience game for the British, where it's just got to be a case of bide our time, hang in there, maybe roll them at the end.
Yeah, and you look at yesterday's game, like you mentioned, Peter, that was a come-from-behind win for Team USA, and maybe it was the fact that they were doing a better job of rolling the interchanges. And Brian had talked about that from the boundary as well. He had noticed, and correctly so, that Great Britain was doing a better job. And those types of things, those types of quick substitutions don't necessarily pay off immediately, but perhaps keeps your team fresh in the end. And, of course, the status of the Irish captain is something we'll be watching, too.
Who's some of the key players that are standing out for you thanks to Powerwood?
Well, certainly like the play of Anne-Marie Troy. Such a good job in the contest for the Irish. She's been a factor for Team Ireland. It obviously brings a lot of experience despite debuting for Team Ireland. Of course, Shannon Stevenson is so dynamic to watch. Not just a great boot, but she can really turn on the afterburners, makes it tough to defend against.
Goal kickers at quarter time look like this. It's just singles, 1 to O'Shea and 1 to Byrne for the Irish. No goals yet for Great Britain. We might take this opportunity to take a break here at quarter time. Thanks to Payable Apps, it's the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup, where Ireland 2-1-13 lead Great Britain 1 behind.
Great news, sports teams. Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Setup is easy. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider. Share and get paid. Players can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more, streamlining the process for them, all while you stay organized with real-time updates. Registrations, uniforms, races, sponsorship, clinics, coaching, training, and classes. Keep it simple with Payable Forms.
I think we did 3.
And welcome back to Colonel Samuel Smith Park at the Humber College South Campus in Etobicoke, Toronto, Canada, for the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup, presented by Payable Apps and produced by eThereLive.com. Ireland have broken from their huddles. Great Britain have broken from their respective huddles. We might take this opportunity to head down boundary side now with Brian Barish.
Yeah, you know you don't.
Is that they're clogging up the middle too much. They want to see them use the wings more and stretch out the Great Britain defense. As for the British, they said keep doing what you're doing, put the pressure on, take it right down the gut. So we'll see which one of those two opposing strategies works out in the second term.
So it's a 12-point lead to the Irish. They'll be kicking to the right of screen, the visitmississauga.ca end, with hundreds of must-see experiences, plenty of gorgeous scenery, world-class eats and events. Mississauga is yours to explore, and I know all the commentary team have been exploring Mississauga this past week. Go to visitmississauga.ca. Here's Patrick McNeil.
Yes, it has been lovely to explore Mississauga, and it's been lovely to watch. Excellent Australian rules football action as we get a ball up to start this second quarter. Again, it is Team Ireland with a 12-point lead, so effectively a 2-goal lead as we will get another contested possession here. Ball goes up once again. It's going to be tapped to the right by Great Britain arms. Again, Great Britain in blue, Ireland in green. Swans versus the Banshees. Great rivalry game here. And another quick whistle, a little bit of a choppy flow here. Is, of course, 17.5-minute quarters in the women's contest here as the ball will be kicked back towards midfield where it came, and that will be a free kick for Great Britain. Good opportunity for them as they would love to get an inside 50 here quickly. As that's Sophie Bennett who's got the football. She'll kick it along the right side. Ball goes whip, and McInerney with a clean mark. Again, she's been a key player in the mid for Great Britain. She'll take the opportunity to boot it, and that will go towards forward 50. No clean mark there, but there is a contest on the ground. It's going to be taken by the Irish, booted into trouble, so to speak. Ball comes up towards the midfield. You hear the umpire when they say touch ball, that means it's not going to be a clean mark. If it hits hands, has to cleanly go to a player in order for it to be a mark. Ball will go bouncing along, and it's won by the Irish. I think that was Circa Nolan was the flag bearer for Ireland battling, and she told me I may or not be correcting her name, pronouncing her name correctly. Boy, easy for me to say. Ball now in Irish hands, and there is a tackle. And I was going to ask if there was prior opportunity. There was, and the umpire says holding the ball.
So free kick going the way of the British. Lizzie Toms ends up with the football. And she wants to go to the Lake Ontario side of the ground, furthest from the commentators. Thanks for that. And now goes in the direction of almost Marie Keating for the Irish. She almost took the mark. She got the hand pass away. Umpire has given throw. And you can see the protest from Kate Franklin going, no, I went with the fist. Well, guess what? You can watch it back on the AFL Canada YouTube channel to see if the umpire got that correct or not, because eThereLive.com caught it. As the kick now long, inside 50. Stevenson had the hands up momentarily. Spoiled from behind by Turner. It has to go again at it. Stevenson managed to get the football out on this occasion to the it looks like I think it was to the number 5 in 15, and Nolan. Here's the shot on goal now for the Irish, directly in front. That looks pretty good. I think that might be Keane who's got that one. Shiafra Keane directly in front of goal puts the lead out to 3 goals the difference. 3-1-19 for Ireland. No, Great Britain one behind, and I'll correct myself. It's the 26 Quiver Condon, the player who's been like Tim Hortons in Canada everywhere.
Absolutely has been. And once again, a theme that's kind of emerging is the Irish women getting to that goal square and winning those contests first to the ball. That just comes back to game awareness, knowing where the game is going to be, knowing to anticipate, and being the first to get those soccer-like goals coming in. It's not always about the fancy free kicks or the big boots. Sometimes get it done on the ground, and that's worked for Ireland thus far today. We get a ball up following the goal. Again, Ireland now ahead by 3 goals, 19-1. Ball along the ground. Again, Ireland in green, Great Britain in blue. Ball will come back, going towards the side opposite of our E-There live broadcast location. Doing a great job bringing the pictures and sound. What a great smother that was. It's all about those 1%ers, including the play by Abby Noonan, and the hard work is going to win the Irish the ball. Taken down, maybe lost her footing there as tripped over the turf, so to speak, and the ball will end up in Great Britain hands.
Number 2, Sophie Bennett has the resulting free kick. She played in Sydney with UTS this past Australian winter. Calls herself an entrepreneur. Got something like 14,000 followers on Instagram. I might even be selling her short with that number. Here's the long kick up the line. Almost intercepted on that occasion by Dunn, who probably dropped what she should have taken. Mad scramble on here as Keating got in there for the Irish. Couldn't get the football out. Susie Carr did for Great Britain. Head up in the McInerney direction. Came out to try and meet the football. Got knocked away from her. Quick hands on. That's Hibbard. Manages to move it sideways. The kick inside 50. Bubbles around. Trying to get front position there is Lucy Newell. Newell still doing well to keep it alive for the British. Couldn't get the intended target with the hand pass because he was trying to find get ease. Ball got away from her. The Irish now have it, and they'll relieve the pressure off their half-back line.
Irish moving the ball along the side opposite of our broadcast location. Ball will go towards out of bounds, and that is out. I think that was last touch by Great Britain, so Sue Rule should give that to the Irish for a free kick. Or my correction, that is going to be a boundary throw, and again, 13-14 left. Approximately. Clock is not exact.
And we do need to clarify one thing just quickly. Last disposal as opposed to last touch.
Yes, well clarified there. Peter, veteran, of course, calling women's Australian rules football action. Again, just the clock is not necessarily exact, but it's an approximation of how much time we have left here in this second quarter of play as the Irish in the lead currently. Again, the winner will move on to the grand final on Sunday against the winner of Team Canada USA, which is coming up after this contest. Great day of Aussie football, day 7 of this tournament. Ball on the ground. It is won by Great Britain again. Great Irish pressure, tough to execute anything for the Great Britain Swans. Ball bouncing around one of those center squares. Of course, there are 3 of them. We've talked about that throughout the tournament. As ball in dispute along the ground, and if the players can't sort it out, of course, it's the umpire that gets to throw the ball up. So we will get a ball up, and it's going to come in the center part of the field. Tapped by British hands, but won by the Irish eventually towards the forward 50. Ball goes bouncing just outside that arc. Handball option executed by Team Ireland. Another option, the Irish trying to link east-west here on these handballs and creating space for herself. It's booted by Team Ireland, and that is going to bounce through. It's bouncing around the behind area. Ball stays alive. Great Britain pressure there, as that was Nolan that was pressured. And I think she may have been caught. That is going to be a Great Britain free kick for holding the ball.
And with Beth Tetlow, who played rugby with Hove. She's at full back today for Great Britain and elects to go on the right boot and kicks it long up the line. Oh, intercept mark on that occasion taken by Dunn. She was trying to find Martin there originally with the kick Tetlow, but it was just great work, great body work, great timing there by Elise Dunn. Elise Dunn, just 20 years old, making her international debut, captain MTU to the Fitzpatrick Cup Championship. Elects to go with the pass, had a target on, and Stevenson just got knocked out of her hands. Anne-Marie Troy besieged upon here. Holding her arm there is Kate Franklin. Umpire says it's playing on, it's out. Now to Stevenson, who swings around towards goal. Oh, Tetlow! Quote unquote, to use a soccer term, the goalkeeping skills on the last line of defence, or goaltending since we're here in Canada and they love their hockey. She denies a goal.
Yeah, spectacular intercept mark by Beth Tetlow, perhaps a contender for the Payable Labs mark of the tournament. And the ball, though, will find its way back to Irish hands. And I stand corrected. It's going to be a Great Britain free kick as they're going to get an opportunity to clear out of the defensive 50. It's booted up the corridor. Looked like it was going to be cleanly intercepted, but all of a sudden a green jumper appears out of nowhere. And the Irish pressure is back on. is moving it is Grace Oldham. She'll kick it forward. Again, it's just outside the arc. Irish getting numbers of the contest. It is Marie Keating who will take a blast to the football, and a good contest there. British hands are up as the ball in dispute along the right side of the field. And again, it is Shannon Stevenson. She is everywhere, as Peter mentioned earlier. Ball will come now to Great Britain. It looked like that was Carissa Turner, the vice captain, or pardon me, that was actually Christy Martin, as she'll go to ground. As again, a good contest here, and that ball will end up in the hands of in the hands of Ireland. Opportunity for a free kick from just outside that 50-meter arc.
Stevenson with the football right in front of the Irish flag that you saw in the background, captured by E there live. The ball dribbles towards the goal square. Plenty of numbers here for the British if they can work it out. Franklin, hand pass to Martin while under pressure. They've overrun the football here, having to do a little dance around there is Brosnan, the captain. Gave it off quickly to Kendrick, directly in front of goal. Has gone to the right-hand side. Minor score, Ireland 3-2-20. Great Britain 1 behind. Just under 10 minutes remaining in this second term, thanks to Payable Apps.
Yeah, you absolutely should go to payableapps.com. Learn more about one of our big sponsors here, as it'll be a goal kick for Great Britain. Of course, nice to see Bronson involved in that sequence. We were unsure of her status coming out of the first quarter. Strong, heavy kick, trying to bring it out of the defensive 50. Didn't quite go that far, as Great Britain will get another opportunity to clear it out. Ball on the ground now as it's in British hands, as it's kicked out towards the left side of the field. Ball is being contested here. Good contest all game long thus far, as once again Bronson's involved in the game for the Irish. They certainly like having their captain. Not a lot of options there, as being swarmed was Annie Walsh, the vice captain. Ball goes to ground, and again the British getting some pressure there in the middle of the field, and it's going to be a ball up.
For all the work for the British across their defensive line trying to keep out the Irish, there just doesn't seem to be any clear, as we call, linking up the chains to move the football forward. No great confidence in that, and the Irish are just about everywhere. Here's the long kick up the line again by Brosnan, the captain, heading in the Stevenson direction. Stevenson, what a solid bump there. Gets on the right boot, kicks it around towards the forward pocket. Tetlow is going to get there first. He reads it best. Tetlow off the left boot, swings around, gives it a hoik, trying to put it in the direction of a player to run onto it. Ball is just bobbling around here. Right in front of the water carrier, so I can't see a thing. Thanks, guys. Now going across there is Massey. Quick little bump on Troy. Read it best, though. Anne-Marie Troy got spun around. Umpire says too long, too long. Free kick going the way of Great Britain, and it's going... I thought it was Sophie Bennett. She was one of those that helped in the contest, but instead going to one of her teammates.
Yeah, Troy maybe was trying to be a little bit too fancy there, as the ball will come out along the left boundary, right in front of our There live broadcast location. Doing a great job bringing these pictures, and the British pressure comes. That is going to be a free kick earned for Lucy Newell off the tackle, and she'll back up, player for the North London Lions, 22-year-old for Great Britain, blasts it along the left side, looking for McInerney. He'll get it, but no mark. She'll take a boot going towards goal square. Opportunity for a mark. Ball loose along the ground, and that will squirt out, as that was Freya Hibbert that was getting her hands on a place for the Wimbledon Hawks. It is a veteran of international play, wasn't able to convert for a major score, but it is a behind. Change the Payable App scoreboard. 3-2-20 for Ireland, 0-2 Great Britain.
She holds the ball above her head to say, I'm going to kick it. Yep, that's the idea. O'Donovan now goes out towards the halfback flank position. Good mark taken. Found the player, Dara Power, with plenty of space to work between. So much space you could have built a golf course. Now goes out towards the halfback flank on the Lake Ontario side of the ground for Karen Lawler. Lawler, of course, won an All-Ireland Mini-Sevens tournament with some Bridges playing Gaelic football. Kick up the line, finds Anne-Marie Troy. Anne-Marie Troy now on the right boot. Goes out towards centre wing. Broadcast on the Lake Ontario side. Got out the back for Quiver Condon, who's got to put the gas on. Oh, she's been pulled down. Run down from behind. You are not getting away from Carissa Turner. She put the wheel clamp on. You've got to pay the fine.
Absolutely. Great pressure by Carissa Turner, who has been a big factor defensively in this game for Great Britain. She'll blast the football on the boundary side. Irish arms are up. Boy, every free kick is being earned in this game as Team Ireland marching forward. I think that was Troy taken down. Don't think there was much in the way of prior opportunity there. I spoke too soon. Sophie Bennett says that football is mine. She'll kick it along the right side. Smart play to play on. See if you can keep that momentum going for Great Britain. Ball in dispute here on the ground. It is going to be British hands moving, marching forward. Kick up in the air. Not a lot of options there as Great Britain try to go east-west with the football. It is going to be Irish soccering to try to keep that ball alive, as the contest is going to be won by the Irish temporarily out the back. Handball option. Ball will be handballed across to Brosnan, the captain. She'll kick it along the the right side. Looking for the mark there was Abby Noonan. Ball bouncing along the ground. Some speed by Team Ireland as we hear a whistle. And that will lead to a Great Britain free kick along the boundary. Great Britain trying to find their first major score of the game.
And trying to run on the football there was Lily Miles. The umpire says got the opponent caught holding the football. So the tackling pressure is going up for the British. Can they capitalise and put it on the scoreboard? The Irish starting to feel the pinch at the moment in the latter half of the second quarter. The kick off the side of the boot by Miles, trying to find Susie Carr. Couldn't find her Carr. Ball is now in the forward 50. Waiting for it on the outside, Kate O'Reilly. The umpire says it's going nowhere and will call for a ball up. 50 metres out from the British goal, going to the left of screen. 5 minutes remaining in the second term for Payable apps. Umpire says shepherding in the ruck contest, and it's against the Irish. Free kick going the way of Carissa Turner. Carissa Turner now for Great Britain. Goes for a run. Elects to go for the hand pass. Almost sold Hannah Leighton right up the creek. Leighton got on the right boot. She swings it towards the half-back flank position. Going in to pick up the football there is Kirsty Martin. Martin out towards the forward pocket position. Bump laid on there by Hibbert. Took out a player. The Irish try to relieve it from defence. Close towards the boundary line. It has gone over and out. And it will be a free kick. Great Britain football. Almost pointed the wrong way, the umpire. And there's another chance to go inside 50.
Yeah, the umpire correcting himself there. Here's an opportunity for Great Britain, and they do break into that 50-meter arc, but they find Irish hands as Karen Lawler of the Galway Magpies with the intercept mark. Kicked along the left boundary, goes bouncing out. And that will lead to a Great Britain position lasso rule. So the Great Brits will have another opportunity to do the inside 50 correctly. They'd love to do so because they're down 3-2, 20-0-2 on the Payable App scoreboard. You should go to payableapps.com, helping sports teams simplify fee collection through their Google add-ons. That is going to be a free kick by Kate Franklin along the right side, and it's going to be intercept marked by Karen Lawler. Saying that name a lot today, Peter.
Yep, she's starting to rack up the stats across the half-back line, giving all kinds of headaches to the British. Lawler now goes up the line, sticks the mark okay here. Now gets on the right boot after almost getting run down. Out towards the half-back flank, Lake Ontario side of the ground, now towards centre wing, courtesy of that hand pass from Kendrick. They've got some running play, but they've kind of come unstuck here. Sophie Bennett creating the pressure. She's jumped upon straight away. She wants to go back and fight for the football. Umpire says, there's no Greco-Roman wrestling here, please. I'll take the ball back and call for a ball up.
You have to go to the Olympics for that. We are playing Australian rules football here on the campus of Humber College in Etobicoke, Ontario, as tap leads to no clear winner. Ball along the ground. It is going to come in the hands of Hannah Leighton for Great Britain. Handball option, and out the back it goes by Kelleher. Ball now still in British feet. It'll go along the right side again on that Lake Ontario side. Tap forward by Great Britain. Great Britain in blue, Ireland in green as it's pushed along the right side. Ball goes bouncing along as it is going to be an opportunity into the inside 54. Great Britain centering kick doesn't lead to a mark, but it is still Great Britain possession. McInerney will try to go out the back. Throw. Yeah, that's the pressure forcing McInerney to throw the ball, and that is going to lead to an Irish kick, a free kick in the defensive 50, so an opportunity for them to get out of trouble as it's going to be kicked out along the left boundary.
It does really feel like a defensive battle this game. Trying to slap it away from Kitty on that occasion was Callagher right up against the boundary line. The British will send it back in once again. They've been peppering. Maybe hands to the back from McInerney. The umpire said no, play on. Ball on the ground, trying to get in there is Tashburn for the Irish. Just dancing around here, trying to get through traffic. Alwana Williams now goes towards goal. Nobody home. They've got a goalkeeper waiting on the last line of defence there, the Irish, playing that very smart. Though that kick wasn't the greatest of Brosnan. Brosnan's got to dance around, got the kick away in time before being caught. Coming across there is Kate Franklin. Got it. Kate that don't argue. Franklin sees an open goal! And the British are on the scoreboard when it comes to goals. They go to 1-2-8. Ireland 3-2-20.
That is a game-breaker goal from Kate Franklin. If your team is having trouble creating, just run to create space. Have a boot it through. Major score for Great Britain. That is going to change the score line as we get an opportunity to view that. What a beautiful kick through for Franklin.
Oh, that's definitely a contender for the Payable Apps goal of the tournament. Number one, Kate Franklin there for Great Britain.
That will change the Payable Apps scoreboard to 3-2-20 for Ireland, 1-2-8 Great Britain. Again, Payable Apps is helping teams Simplify fee collection through the Google Add-ons payment solutions company that provides various add-ons, allowing payment to be made via credit card inside of a Google form or sheet.
Ireland pinned for a 666 infraction.
Yeah, they've been given the warning earlier, so that's why you have that Great Britain free kick coming out of the center square, and that is a well-timed free kick for Great Britain as they try to move the ball around the corridor. And looks like we are going to get a contest here. Umpire will give an opportunity to a ball up. And rucking contest is won by Great Britain as the ball pushed towards the forward 50. Pressure on now for Great Britain. McInerney will take a kick at the goal, and it is going to go offline. And that is going to lead to a minor score, 3-2, 21-39. 22-9 is the score in favor of the Irish.
Hashtag handy point. Who knows in the scheme of things? We still have a half of football to play and 30 seconds remaining in this second term. The kick out from full back has got to be good. Oh, dear at the feet of Dara Power. McInerney putting on the pressure here. Here's a hurried step behind goal. No, it's just stopped on the last line of defence. They're fighting and they're scrambling hard for it. They're screaming ball. And the umpire's blown the whistle and said there was no prior opportunity. We'll call for a ball up. 9 seconds remaining to the half-time siren. They've got to throw it on the boot here quick if they're a chance, the British. They go to lay a tackle. Umpire says it was hand passed out okay as the Alex Stevens was just trying to bring down the player. And that is half-time. Cracking contest here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park at Humber College in Toronto, Canada. 3-2-20 Ireland. Great Britain 1-3-9. Have we started to see the game slightly turn towards the British way?
Perhaps so. You're watching Australian football on either live on YouTube, but I thought we would have been watching boxing on HBO because to me, it seemed like the Irish may have been saved by the bell. The whistle could not have come at a better time for them.
It was amazing. Like the start of this second quarter, it looked like after the Irish had kicked a goal going, oh dear, this could be a chance for this game to blow out here. As much as the British have been holding up, Condon absolutely everywhere. Anne-Marie Troy, Shannon Stevenson. They had so many winners across the ground island. You felt like this could be any time that the dam could burst. But somehow, slowly, Great Britain have just kind of turned it slightly back their way. They do trail by 11 points. The advantage is with Ireland, no question about that. But it just feels like this game is certainly not settled. Let's take a look at some of the highlights here for the first half.
Yeah, some beautiful football being played by both teams as you see some nice goals in this one. Certainly no shortage of highlights. Again, we expected nothing less between two strong sides.
Well, you know, McInerney, the interesting decision now to throw her down forward. She was kind of playing like a half-back role when she was watching Jess Blicker in that game against the United States. Let's see if she comes more and more into the game because she was certainly at the back end of that second quarter. Here is the player there, Condon, getting the rundown. What a tackle. I think I called it earlier to Turner. Pardon me, it was Kirsty Martin that did that. That was brilliant. That might have been the moment that the momentum started to shift.
Yeah, Martin is one of the players that's been bringing, as you see, that beautiful kick by Kate Franklin, kind of taking the game into her own hands. Martin's been one of those players that's been bringing the pressure. We talked about McInerney as well. We've seen a little bit of that as well from Lucy Newell and a number of these Great Britain players. They're not backing down, as we talked about in the keys of the game. They are not going to be afraid of this Irish team.
I know Brian Barish is going to listen into the huddle, so we'll have him after our halftime break to kind of get the vibe of the coaches at the moment. But I think tense would be an applicable word.
Absolutely, and it's only going to get more tense here because there is a spot in the grand final on the line. Of course, it's semifinal Thursday for the women. Whoever wins this contest goes on to play the winner of Canada-USA in the final. These two teams know each other well. They see each other a lot in their part of the world, and that's part of the reason we've seen such a good game today. And the pressure has been immense. Not a lot of time and space out there, but it has been a treat to watch for my money.
We might take this opportunity to take a break here at halftime of the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup thanks to Payable apps. It's Ireland 3-2-20 leading Great Britain 1-3-9.
Aussie Rules the World podcast is a podcast dedicated to bringing our listeners information from international Aussie rules, from news, reports, reviews, and interviews from people dedicated to building Aussie rules internationally. During the Transatlantic Cup, World Footy Shorts will be bringing you daily updates from what's happened from the games and around the event. And this is Aussie Rules the World podcast.
AFL has huge potential, not only in Colombia, but also Latin America. And Orica is really excited to be part of that story.
Los lazos humanos entre Colombia y Australia son de una importancia altísima. Para ambos países el deporte es algo muy importante en la vida. Tenemos las culturas muy similares en este sentido, con los valores de equidad de género, de participación. En la cancha todos somos iguales.
Mi vida siempre se basó en el tema del deporte, porque el deporte a mí me salvó de todo aspecto posible, que normalmente en la juventud no. El tema de alcohol, de vicios y demás, a mí llegó a mi vida fue el deporte. En el 2019 tuve un accidente de tránsito donde las oportunidades de volver a tocar una cancha eran nulas. Aún los médicos me dicen, tú cero deporte, cero correr, jugar, saltar, deportes de contacto. Siento que mi familia en esa parte forma un pilar importantísimo. Mi mamá estuvo conmigo y me cuidó como nadie lo hizo, porque era la que tenía y se aguantaba la de mamá, no quiero a nadie en este momento.
AFL Colombia has the potential to have long-lasting impacts in the communities. Entonces, Alejandro, Oscar y Estefanía, we chose these players as the future leaders because they showed throughout the selection process and throughout their time in the organisation that they are future leaders and they are really focused on developing others.
La idea es crecer aún más, estar en un nivel alto para así poder llegar y enseñarle a todos a mis compañeros.
Para mí la beca es una oportunidad enorme, una oportunidad que no se le presenta a cualquiera, una oportunidad que ya tenía mi nombre destinado en ello. Voy a vivir siempre agradecida con este deporte porque me dio una luz, porque yo vivía mi vida después del accidente, vivía mi vida, pero no era feliz. Cuando conocí el deporte y empecé a jugar de nuevo, y vida está de testigo, mi vida cambió.
That's the culmination of a lot of work for a lot of people. A heap of people have contributed to this, and it's great to see them living out their dreams, and you know, we're all very excited for them, and it's going to be great.
Great news, sports teams. Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Setup is easy. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Players can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more, streamlining the process for them, all while you stay organized with real-time updates. Registrations, uniforms, races, sponsorship, clinics, coaching, training, and classes. Keep it simple with Payable Forms.
Welcome back to Colonel Samuel Smith Park at the Humber College South Campus at Etobicoke in Toronto, Canada for the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup. This is day 7 of 10 of the tournament. It's the women's semi-finals, our first semi-final being played between Ireland and Great Britain. And Ireland lead at halftime 3-2-20 to Great Britain 1-3-9. As you see on the vision there, Ireland are going to be down a player. Let's cross down to Brian Barish on the boundary with the latest.
Yeah, Pete, in that massive scramble at the end of the quarter there, Danny Downey has what they think might be a fracture in her arm. Of course, we'll check in on that, but they have it in the splint. They're taking it over. They want to take all precautions possible to make sure they don't move it. I did get a chance to listen to the huddles. Ireland, well, they are not happy at all at how that last quarter went with Vice Captain Annie Walsh really laying into her team. They said we need to communicate better, or otherwise we're just going to hand them the game. As for Jason Hancock and the Swans, he thinks his team is on the advantage. He says we have them on the ropes. This is our game to win.
Thank you very much to Brian Barish, and great work down there on the boundary line. And like the Irish men, which got besieged by injuries in their game yesterday, the injuries are now starting to hurt the Irish women.
Yeah, it might be feeling like deja vu for Ireland based on that loss against USA yesterday.
We're not too far away from starting the third quarter here, thanks to Payable apps, helping sports teams simplify fee collection through their Google add-ons, payableapps.com. 7.5-minute quarters is what we're playing. That means we've got about 35 minutes of football left to decide who will be the first team through to the AFL Transatlantic Cup Women's Grand Final. To get us underway for the third term, here's Patrick McNeil.
Well, they call the third quarter the Premiership quarter for a reason, and right now you've got one team with the lead. You've got the other team with the momentum, as it is the Great Britain Swans in blue. They're kicking towards the visitmississauga.ca, and you absolutely should visit Mississauga to bask in the hundreds of must-see attractions and gorgeous scenery. Ireland in green, they'll be kicking towards Toronto as the ball is up, and the initial tap is going to be won by Great Britain, and not done correctly, so we will, it has done correctly, but it is a free kick to Ireland as they will get an opportunity to break inside 50. That's the start they want. They want to see if they can bring back the momentum that way, as Leisha Casarelli ends up giving the ball up, as it is going to be a free kick for Elizabeth Toms after the intercept mark. Ball is up, and hand contest here, as a lot of pressure here for the Irish. And again, the quick whistles are coming out, as going to be another Irish free kick. And maybe not, as it looked like a short kick to Troy, and that's going to be kicked back.
They want the player to come back behind the player on the mark to reset herself. So Massey's the player on the mark, and Troy with the resulting free kick. Defensive side of centre wing on the Lake Ontario side of the ground here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park. She's going a fair way back. The umpire might give her the hurry up soon, and goes with a long kick up the line. Bounces off the chest of the player waiting there in Kate Franklin. She's going to have to go after it in a foot race. Trying to get there is Kirsty Martin, but getting the kick there is Keane for the Irish. Going inside towards Stevenson. Got a player on the outside here. Is going to be Penn and Condon. The umpire says that's dropping the football. Free kick for Great Britain in the back pocket. Lake Ontario side of the ground. They'll go with a kick up the line. Went through several sets of hands. Trying to wait for it out the back there was Katie Almer, the co-captain of the Great Britain Swans. Umpire says touch ball. That means you got to play on. If you catch it after it's been touched, it's no free kick to you. Troy got it across to Condon. Condon wants to go deep inside the forward line. Foot race on at the moment. Keane chasing afterwards. It's next to the right-hand point post, and it has gone out of bounds. One bounce for a throw-in.
And let's check in now with Brian Barish on the boundary.
Yeah, just starting to feel a couple of drops here, fellas. In about 15 minutes or so, there's going to be a passing shower by, which may change the conditions a bit.
Thanks to our meteorologist, Brian Barish, on the sidelines. Of course, that definitely could change the flow of the games. We'll get a boundary throw in there next to the goalpost. Ball is up contest here. It's going to be tapped forward as it's along the ground for Stevenson. Boot, and that is going to go across the face. That's a behind. Change to the Payable app scoreboard. Ireland 3-3-21. Great Britain 1-3-9.
Even 2 goals the difference. And I should mention, we do have extra time if there is a draw. So if the game is drawn, 2 5-minute halves of extra time to decide who will go through to the grand final. Marie Keating had the football momentarily. She dropped it, but went with the soccer skills off the ground. Being pulled down, Walsh at the crucial moment. She tried to get a hurried kick away. Keating goes in again on the left boot, close towards the pocket of the ball. Dribbles over the boundary line and out of bounds, chased over by Bennett.
Yeah, there was some chaos there. Somehow another football made its way onto the field, so the umpire is having to rectify that situation. As this game can be confusing enough.
It's multi-ball!
Yeah, this is going to make things real interesting going forward as we get a boundary throw in there in the pocket. It's going to be tapped forward. Irish again kicking towards the Toronto Island end. Ball on the ground, and it's going to end up in the hands of the umpire. Now we'll be able to sort that one out. And again, this is where the Irish want the ball. They want to reassert control of this game. Hands are up for both teams. Who is going to end up with it? That is Catherine Byrne with the ball, and she is taking the ground, but Great Britain trying to kick it out of trouble. It's still in their defensive 50. Ball will find its way past that 50-meter mark. It's all on the ground, and it's kicked up through the corridor as ball is dribbling. McInerney's after it. She'll lay claim and handballs it forward as it is Lucy Newell on the move. Nice give and go handball for McInerney. She'll take a boot at it. Where is that going to go? It's going to dribble through, and that will be rushed through. I don't know if Irish arms were on that. Sierra Murphy was trying to tap that too, or Kira Murphy, but it is behind nonetheless.
1-4-10 Great Britain, 3-3-21 Ireland. 13 and a half minutes roughly remaining in this third term, and maybe before the rain comes down. So that might mean a little bit of more urgency for Great Britain, because if Ireland can hold a 2-goal lead when the rain comes down, they could park the bus and sit on it for the last 17 and a half minutes. As the ball now goes out in the direction of Condon, who got away from Massey. Condon kicks it out towards the centre wing position. Massey still running after the football. She's going after the player there in Karen Lawler up against the boundary line, pulls her down, but the umpire said the ball's gone over and out, and will call for a ball in. Run it in front of the scoreboard, which shows an 11-point lead to Ireland over Great Britain. That scoreboard used during the AFL Ontario competition, which is played here every summer. Here's the hurry kick, and the British will send it through Martin with a long bomb. McInerney waiting at the back here. Used her body work well. Gave off a little sneaky hand pass to Awona Williams. Williams sprang it around inside 50. Ball hit the deck though. Trying to fight for it as Katie Murdoch rolled over the back of an opponent. Umpire said it was fair, not in the back. Ball, they scream, and it is a free kick. It's going the way of the British. And they'll have a chance for a shot at goal. This will be a crucial shot by Katie Murdoch. She'll be on a very tight angle, kicking from about 35 metres out. This will test her.
Yeah, in that left pocket. Big free kick here for Katie Murdoch of the Glasgow Sharks. She's got an opportunity to pull her team within more striking distance. Ball comes up. It's bouncing along the ground. And the umpire will say that is a goal. It is Katie Murdoch putting it through. And that means it is game on. Change the Payable app scoreboard. 3-3-21, 2-4-16. Great Britain within 1 goal. Kate is the name. It was Kate Franklin, and now Katie Murdoch has put Great Britain within 5.
By Jingos, we've got a ball game here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park in Toronto, Canada. As we said, the winner goes through to the grand final. Here's the kick again from Katie Murdoch. Under pressure, this situation. And she just manages to get the distance. The appeal from the Irish players, but the goal umpire was right there on the line. Here's the ball up. Ball in the middle of the ground. Trying to get it out there was Hannah Leighton for the British. Going in there is Marie Keating, the very experienced Marie Keating. Gets on the left boot. Kicks it in towards the middle of the ground. Foot race on here. Dunn trying to get in there for the Irish. Got it out to Troy, who imposed her will in the contest, only to be caught holding the football by Cherry Halfyard.
Beautiful work in the mid by Cherry Halfyard. Key free kick coming up off the tackle, and once again Great Britain trying to swing the momentum their way. Great Britain Swans moving through the corner. Beautiful spoil in the midfield, but Halfyard gets it right back. Kicks forward 50. McInerney's on it for Great Britain. Handball option is spoiled. Irish hands active here, trying to prevent the British from moving the ball as it's in the forward 50. Aggressive tackle. McInerney is all over the ball, and that is going to end up being a free kick for number 27 for Great Britain. Boy, she's been a big factor throughout this game, and she is going to have an opportunity for a free kick just outside the arc.
And I tell you one thing, she has 2 Olympians in her family.
Well, I'm not surprised with that impressive athletic pedigree. Pressure all over, pushing up the forward line, as Peter had mentioned earlier, and being a factor wherever she is on the field. She'll take a strong boot. Long legs go out towards the goal square. It is going to be picked up by Irish arms, and not a lot of opportunity there. And again, the Irish are trying to get an opportunity to kick this out of trouble. Free kick next to the goal square here for Team Ireland, as we've played just over 7 minutes here, as it's going to be kicked along the boundary. It is going to be booted out there by Kira Murphy. Great Irish name for sure. It's on Great Britain hands now, just outside that 50-meter arc. Again, there is pressure by the Irish, and they are going to win another free kick.
Yes, they do. Excellent pressure being put on here in the back pocket at the visitmississauga.ca end of the ground. That's Lawler, who want to go short with a kick and finds Casserly. Casserly with the football on the half-back flank. She says, wagons ho, let's go long. And that's what she does with the big wind-up and the big boot going out towards the centre end of the Lake Ontario side of the ground. Kate Franklin tried to cut it off now. She socketed it off the ground, but it will be a lasso free kick going the way of the Irish. And Casserly is going to take the resulting free kick. Umpire says no, has to give it to 17 instead for being the closest. 17, Grace Oldham. Oldham with the football, defensive side of centre wing. Puts it high in the air. Was heading in the Anne-Marie Troy direction. Franklin was there. Bounced off her chest. Getting in there is Keane. Umpire said touch, play on. Lizzie Thompson's going to get there first for the British. Tom's under pressure from Stevenson. Tom's keeping the ball in front of herself. Stevens still harassing and sees the ball tapped over the boundary line and out of bounds. We'll have a throw in at the half-forward flank for the Irish.
Yeah, and we talked about Stevenson's goal-kicking prowess and whatnot, but some good work there in the bumping contest, and that's going to put the Irish in a 50-50 position here in the forward 50. Hands are up trying to win that ball as we have a contest all on the ground. I think that was the two number 2s going at it. Casterly and number 2 Sophie Bennett for the Great Britain team, and the ball will go up. Ball up contest, arms are up. Great Britain watches the Irish knock it forward. Ball is along the ground as Susie Carr, the vice captain for Great Britain, trying to protect the ball. And again, there's a lot of congestion there in the pocket. Tough for either team to get clean hands of the ball.
You're watching the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup. Production by E there live, thanks to the AFL Canada YouTube channel for streaming this. The umpires pulled out a free kick here going the way of Annie Walsh. Walsh for the Irish, vice-captain. She's also a twin, but non-identical, she says.
Yeah, that could be quite tricky if her twin did play footy and she was identical. There is a boot off of the leg of Annie Walsh, goes through, and that is going to go clear through. Beautiful kick from a sharp angle. Annie Walsh, the vice captain, shows leadership, changes the scoreboard. Ireland now 4-3-27. Great Britain 2-4-16. Ireland ahead of the Payable app scoreboard.
Big goal there for Ireland. Just flatten the tyres there for the moment for the Swans. As we said, they've got all the work to do. And if that shower comes into play, as Brian Barish has talked about, then they could be in big trouble, Great Britain. But look at that. Another goal. The last 2 goals in a row, both just clearing the pack on the line.
Yeah, definitely. You need to be a skilled kicker to put it up and over the arms of the Great Britain arms. We're trying to spoil that to make that a behind, but it is a goal for Ireland, and it is a key goal indeed to perhaps stem the tide. Ball back into the corridor. Great Britain forward 50 coming up. The ball along the ground here as there's a contest on the turf, so to speak, on the grass here at Humber College. Ball is free for the taking if anybody can get it, and trying to push it out was the Great Britain player. No prior opportunity. That is going to be a ball to the umpire. It is a ball up as we have just over 7 minutes left here in quarter number 3. It is won by Great Britain, and Great Britain player down. We'll keep our eye on that story as the ball along the ground as Great Britain player was up, and that was originally...
Massey was down, and Tash Byrne as well got crunched in that contest, but now Byrne's gone down to ground again. So now there's another serious injury. My goodness gracious me, the Irish have been dropping like flies. So pause the clock there as Tash Byrne at the moment just feeling worse for wear, and as we just have a look, and let's go down to Brian Barish, who's been keeping an eye on things.
Yeah, we're also keeping an eye on Susie Carr, who's at a little bit of distress behind the Great Britain bench, just trying to get some more information on it. I know she was taping up her finger earlier, but I think we're just keeping an eye on her as well. We'll keep an eye on Byrne.
So let's have a look back at the replay. Thanks to the production crew at E there live. There's Massey. Boom. Has a bit of I wouldn't call it a head knot really with Tash Byrne, but maybe she just didn't step all that well as she gets up. Of course, Massey was the one that came off better because she's wearing the soft helmet, as they say, and Tash Byrne, well, she just has to go with the hard head, I guess. But she's staying on the ground, so that's a positive sign, because if she had to go to the interchange bench, then they'd really be in some serious trouble there, Ireland. As we restart the play and restart the clock, there's the tap by Casserly. Once again, it's Massey that tries to get in there. She can't extract the football. Umpire says, I'll take the pill back, please, and call for a ball up. We're around about 35, 40 metres out from the Great Britain goal. Going to the visitmississauga.ca end of the ground. Once again, the ball's thrown in the air. Turner was going in the contest. Ball taken away by Brosnan for the Irish. Does well, kicks it out towards the half-back flank position now. Half-forward flank for the British. As Sophie Bennett just turned around and indiscriminately put it on the boot. Sent back from whence it came by Condon. Spots up a target. Mark taken out there on the centre wing. Lake Ontario side of the ground. They kick it up towards the intense side of the ground. Coming across there is Keane. Keane under pressure, moves it up towards the half-forward flank position. Stevenson runs onto it, gets away from Lizzie Tom. Stevenson now goes towards the goal square in the forward pocket. It's getting back there. Kate Franklin under pressure. Franklin being brought down to ground on this occasion by Rachel O'Shea. And the umpire said the ball had been shuffled over the boundary line and out of bounds. We'll call for a throw-in.
Yeah, Kate Franklin doing good work on every inch of the field right now, or every meter of the field, I should say, as the ball thrown up in the pocket. Opportunity here for Ireland, and the pressure is immense, trying to get rid of it. it is Quiva Condon. And I don't know if there was much. I said there was not much in the way of prior opportunity, but if there was, that is going to be a free kick for Great Britain in the defensive pocket. So much pressure out there on both sides. Ball kicked along the left boundary. Nice clean mark executed as Great Britain slowly linking up to try to get that ball out of trouble. Boot goes high up in the air on the Lake Ontario side of the field. It goes bouncing. We've got a contest now. Dara Power battling with McInerney for it. McInerney will try to protect the ball. She'll push it out to Iona Williams. Now it's going to be kicked out towards the corner. Ball bouncing. Who is it going to end up in the hands of? It is going to be Great Britain hands, as that was Katie Murdoch, but she was feeling the tackle, and they don't. That was a high tackle, and we'll see it what the umpire does with the ball.
And Great Britain's not happy about it, that the advantage didn't get paid, because Alex Stevens, they were all by themselves with 40 metres in front. Umpires weren't watching for the advantage.
No, so instead it is going to be free kick at the spot of the infraction. Ball will be kicked towards that 50-meter arc for Great Britain in blue, Ireland in green. Ball bouncing along the ground, and again, no opportunity there, as that was Hannah Layton that was wrapped up. She'll give the ball to the umpire.
The player that's never on time. Why? She's Layton on Thursday, Layton on Friday. As the ball is now tapped away there by Massey. Trying to go in there and extract it is Katie Murdoch. She can't get the football out. Umpire once again comes in to blow the whistle and call for a ball up. 4 minutes remaining in this third term. We're 45 metres out from the British goal. Thrown up in the air. Heavy traffic jam of players. Everyone's throwing their hands up in the air like they're trying to hail a cab. And the umpire says, once again, I'll take the football back and try and break this thing up. Throws the ball high in the air once again. Castley going up against Turner. Massey had it momentarily. She is absolutely going nowhere. Two Irish women jumped on her and put her into the ground, and will call for a ball up.
Yeah, some great work by Abby Noonan there to wrap up her opponent. We will get that ball up here in the forward 54, Great Britain. Of course, as the rain threatens to come, they perhaps more urgency for Great Britain to find a score, as they do find themselves down now by 11 on the Payable app scoreboard. Ball being kicked along the ground here, soccer style. Both these teams obviously have a great soccer history as well. It is going to be booted up. And that was a nice defensive play there by Beth Tetlow, who's been involved in the game. And the Irish are calling for some substitutions here. It is going to be a free kick for Ireland towards the left side of the field. Nice mark cleanly by Abby Noonan. Abby Noonan's been strong for Ireland today, the 20-year-old having an impact in this game. She's going to slow this down, take her time. No need for urgency here. Ball is kicked to a contest, and great work to appear out of nowhere there by Elizabeth Toms for Great Britain. Comes back to Ireland, though, and nobody around. And that is going to allow a clean mark to be executed. Ball going forward. On the attack are the Irish. That is Shauna Kendrick all alone, streaking through the goal square. And the Irish strike with a significant goal. 5-3-33, 2-4-16. Ireland ahead 33-16 on the Payable app scoreboard. Great work through the quarter of Ireland.
And the British caught napping. They'd all pushed up the ground. No one was home in defence, and that left them very vulnerable. As you see there on the There live replay, look at that. That was all started by Walsh. Just put it into space for a player to run onto it. She was very smart there, Shauna Kendrick, just to put herself in that position 25 metres out from goal. And I won't say it's game over yet, but all of a sudden, they're looking up a very, very steep hill, the Great Britain Swans. They'll trail by 17 points, 5-3-33 to 2-4-16. Under 2 minutes remaining here in the third term. Then they're going to move the football in towards the half-forward flank position for the British. Now half-back flank as the Irish kick it. If it does bounce over and out, it will be a British free kick, but the ball is holding up. Here's a little soccer off the ground, close towards the boundary line. Came off the foot dangerously against the boundary line here, trying to keep it in front of herself. Grace Oldham picks it up again. Had Marie Keating, didn't go for her. Went for a deeper hand pass backwards, trying to use the agency there at Brosnan, who kicks it in towards the centre of the ground. Came off hands. Cherry Half-Yard came through momentarily. So is Dara Power. Power now goes around to the half-forward flank. Lake Ontario side of the ground. Pressure on there by Kate Franklin. Holds things up. And the umpire pulls out the whistle and says, free kick going the way of Kate Franklin for the Swans.
Kate Franklin's been tremendous at both ends of the ball for Great Britain. That was a good job leading there by Rachel O'Shea, but Franklin was all over. She'll kick it out towards the forward 50 here. What a contest we're seeing here by these two traditional rivals. Ball in the forward for 50 for Great Britain, and the urgency is on now. Ball on the ground. It's kicked forward. Great smother there. No room and no space for Great Britain. Ball still, though, moving towards the pocket. Irish arms trying to get rid of it, get it out of trouble. It'll be kicked out, and that is going to lead to a key Great Britain free kick here in the forward 50.
Isabella Marino has the football. She elects to go with a hand pass to bring it back to play. Oh, dear oh me. Drop what she should have taken. Hannah Layton. Hand pass away. It gives the Irish a chance to get out of trouble. Hand pass over the top now using Abby Noonan. Noonan now going to the diving Condon. Condon with the football. She finds herself on defensive side of centre wing. She's slowing things down because there's 19 seconds to three-quarter time. Milking the clock. Goes on the right foot. Goes up the line looking for power. Got spoiled at behind. Coming in there is Dunn. Dunn, the ball went through her legs. 8 seconds remaining. Here's the kick on the boot towards the half-forward flank position. They've just got to throw it on the boot. They can't. They're corralled. And the umpire says it's holding the football. Free kick going the way of Amanda Bronson. And the siren sounds to indicate three-quarter time. And it's the Irish game to lose from here. 5-3-33 to 2-4-16.
What an intriguing quarter of football. We thought the momentum was swinging the way of Great Britain, but a huge, huge third quarter for Ireland to swing it back their way. They're up 5-3, 33-2-4-16 on the Payable app scoreboard. Visit payableapps.com, and we are going to visit Brian Barish on the boundary right now.
Yeah, you mentioned, Pete, how that goal almost looked way too easy for the Irish Banshees. Beth Tetlow, who has been the stalwart on the back line, is over walking around gingerly. They are working, I believe, on her left ankle, so they are really in some bit of trouble without her keystoning that back line.
Oh yeah, that's probably upset their structure and left them vulnerable to that Irish attack. And goal kickers at three-quarter time look like this. It's all singles across the board for the Irish: Kendrick, Walsh, O'Shea, Condon and Byrne. And for Great Britain, it's 1 to Franklin and 1 to Murdoch. I guess the question is, Patrick McNeil, is it signed, sealed, delivered for the Irish? Is there a glimmer of hope for the Swans?
Well, as long as the game is on the field, there is hope, but it's going to be a big, big task and a big mountain to climb here, just the way the Irish pressure has been mounting, and it is becoming a war of attrition. We talked about it at the halftime, how the injuries were perhaps starting to mount up for Ireland, but now, as Brian was just telling us, that's a concern for Great Britain as well.
For the victor, they go through to the grand final on Sunday to play either Canada or the USA. For the loser, they back up on Saturday to play against France. We'll take this opportunity to take a break here at the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup, where it's a 17-point lead to Ireland over Great Britain.
Great news, sports teams. Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Setup is easy. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Players can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more, streamlining the process for them, all while you stay organized with real-time updates. Registrations, uniforms, races, sponsorship, clinics, coaching, training, and classes. Keep it simple with Payable Forms.
Welcome back to Colonel Samuel Smith Park. at Humber College South Campus, Etobicoke, Toronto, Canada, for the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup. This is the women's semi-final stage, and in the first semi-final, it's Ireland 5-3-33, leading Great Britain 2-4-16. The winner will go through to meet either the USA or Canada on Sunday at 11:45 a.m. local time in a grand final for the championship. For the loser, they have a consolation match on Saturday against France. Ireland 17 and a half minutes away from booking their ticket, or can the Swans pull something from out of the fire? Let's find out with Patrick McNeil.
Indeed, we're going to ball up to begin this fourth quarter. Ireland in green, kicking towards the visitmississauga.ca, and you absolutely should visit Mississauga for all the attractions there. The Great Britain Swans are in blue. They will be kicking towards Toronto, and they definitely need to visit Toronto early because they need to make up some ground here, trailing in this third quarter. Ball is up, and it's won by Great Britain. Good work by Freya Hibbert in the ruck. Great Britain urgency on the attack here in the middle of the field. Ball is taken to ground there. Good work on the tackle by Shifra Keane. Ball is kicked there for Great Britain, trying to establish attack early again. They would love to get an early score here. Out the back handball option. It is going to be kicked along the right boundary. High up. McInerney looking for it as she has the ball on the ground. Power all over her, though. It'll be suckered along the ground going towards goal square. Who's going to be able to pick it up? Turn and fire. It's kicked across the face, but it's going to be marked. Huge mark there for Great Britain. That may be an opportunity to kick for goal here from the right pocket. I see the Great Britain player who has the opportunity to do that.
We'll head down to Brian Barish very shortly, but this crucial moment here, I think it might be Murdoch.
And that is going to be kicked across, and it's going to be a behind minor score there as Ireland 5-3-33, Great Britain 2-5-17. It is a 16-point lead here for Ireland as we check in with Brian Barish on the boundary.
Yeah, Pat. Jason Hancock telling the Swans get 2 goals in the first 5 minutes and lock it in. As for Ireland, their goal, no goals. And if they can hold Great Britain off the scoreboard, they'll be on to the final.
CJ Murphy has it for the Irish. Only being intercepted by McInerney. McInerney slams it on the boot again. It'll be across the face of goal. No one really there is a target to go to for the British. And over the boundary line and out of bounds next to the left-hand point post. But it's the right end of the ground that Great Britain wanted at, not the end of the ground the Irish wanted at. The Irish want to go to the right-hand side of the screen, which is the visitmississauga.ca end of the ground. As the ball is thrown back into play, bit of roving work being put on the football here and kicking around the corner. Alma is away, and it's just kept out by the Irish. The kick, though, is very dangerous, trying to find Keane. Dispossessed, taken away there is Murdoch. Murdoch tries to get an awkward sideways kick towards the forward pocket. Big tackle laid on here. Surprisingly, they managed to get boot to ball. In goes Becky Sullivan. In goes McInerney. She copped it high, did she? Let's see what the umpire says. She's putting her hand up. The umpire is signalling no, a ball up.
Yeah, no prior opportunity there. Ball up as the Great Britain looking to continue that pressure. Ball is booted off by Lucy Newell as the ball dribbling along the boundary. Great Britain getting the territorial start that they wanted, but haven't been able to put through for a major score. Goes back towards the 50-meter arc. No clean kick there, so the ball ends up on the ground as arms are flailing, all kinds of bumping contests. We've played about 2.5 here. Remember that the clock is unofficial again, as Peter mentioned, winter goes on, and of course, due to the quirk in the scheduling, bit of an advantage for the women because whichever team goes on to the final will have 2 days. Of course, it's going to be the same for both teams. Ball goes up as hands are up in the contest. It's going to be won by the Irish. They try to get it out of the defensive 50. Ball goes skyward. Where is it going to land as it's by that 50-meter arc? Ireland trying to get out of the trouble. They'll just do that, boot it out, and that looks like a push in the back by Great Britain. And we'll see if that's the official call, and that is going to lead to an Ireland free kick.
Yeah, against Emma Brooks on that occasion, going the way of Grace Oldham. I'll talk about the British a little bit later on, about how I think they haven't quite got the forward set up right. As we wait for this kick to be taken, Oldham on the right boot, going up towards the half-forward flank position. Franklin getting back there for Great Britain, managed to doing some spoiling work. Kicking off the ground there is Quiva Condon. Condon still chasing after Tom's there. Condon going at it. The little soccer skills off the ground. Little toe poker here, waiting for it is Oldham. She was very patient. Oldham runs around very close to the boundary line, kicks it towards the pocket. One bouncing out. That's pretty good there for the Irish. It kills the clock and has the ball up there into the ground. The one thing I saw about with the British is they're a bit one-dimensional when they're going straight for the goals, where the Irish are just virtually camping out the front of their goal, where they kind of maybe need to go to the pocket and chip the ball around sideways a bit to try and stretch the Irish defence.
Might need a little bit more creativity there. Some good work by Oldham protecting the ball, and as you said, it's a boundary throw-in, but that's a favourable result in the forward pocket for Ireland. And the ball up, not won by anybody cleanly. It'll be kicked out towards the boundary on our E there. live broadcast location. Great job by the folks here at eThere Live, really stepping up the production here for this playoff round, so to speak, as we are going to get a ball up here, as there's a big contest here for it. It's booted forward by British hands, as it's going to be on to the Great Britain attack. Susie Carr will start the car up the field as the ball goes bouncing towards the forward 54, Great Britain. Great pressure by McInerney, no prior opportunity for power, ball on the ground, and we should see a ball up. Don't think there was much in the way of prior opportunity there, as again it is in the forward 54, Great Britain. Great Britain here finds themselves down by 16 points, urgency to get a major score soon. You would have to think McInerney will tip it forward as British handball. It's intercepted by the Irish. Ball comes up out of that 50-meter arc, and the attack on far. Iona Williams. She'll kick it. Doesn't have a teammate. Soccer to perhaps a favorable bounce here for Great Britain, as that is Katie Murdoch now trying to battle for it. Boy, no one's able to pick up the football. Very difficult with the pressure we're seeing here. Here's Hannah Layton booting it high skyward. McInerney able to mark it clear. She'll have an opportunity at goal from about 40 meters out.
We know that she's a big boot. This just might test her, and I think she might be kicking into a slightish breeze as well. The breeze does seem to be swinging around a bit at the moment. 12 minutes to go. If she kicks this, not only is it an impact on the scoreboard, but a massive morale boost to them. Crucial one for McInerney. Has a go. It's fading to the right-hand side. Didn't get the distance. Ball is dropped, getting in there to lay the tackle. It looks like it was Turner there for Great Britain. The umpire will take the football back. Nominating for the ruck there was Turner and Keane for the Irish. Brings the football to ground. Picking it up there is Lucy Newell up against the boundary line. Drop what she really should have hold on to. Goes for a little chip kick. Here's a hurry kick out by CJ Murphy while under pressure. Here comes Massey for Great Britain. Takes out her player who did not have possession of the football. Anne-Marie Troy takes the resulting free kick.
Big free kick for Troy to get it out of trouble. And we're seeing that last line of defense holding strong here for Ireland, trying to prevent those big Great Britain big scores that they need here early in the fourth quarter. Nice clean kick to Dara Power, and again no pressure for the Irish to speed this game up. Take your time on those free kicks, try to control the clock, and it's going to be kept along the left side. Actually drifts slightly towards the midfield. Ball's bouncing along the ground as Kate Franklin for Great Britain with some hands on it. As ball on the ground here, Irish hands in the contest on the ground as it's handballed out the back for Team Ireland, and you could feel the pressure coming from Great Britain. Great work there by Kirsty Martin as the ball will be kicked up into the air. Who wants it? Didn't know if that was going to be long enough for a mark, so the ball ends up being contested along the ground. And again, there's tremendous pressure. No prior opportunity, but some great work there on the tackle for Great Britain as we throw to Brian Barish to the boundary.
Yeah, we mentioned Beth Tetlow a little bit before. It looks like her afternoon is done. She's sitting on the bench, and just reiterating, Danny Downey of Irish, they suspect a fracture in her right arm, and she's still on the sideline watching the team. I imagine they'll go check it out afterwards.
And it's Marie Keating that gets the football here for the Irish on the centre wing on the Lake Ontario side of the ground. Had to go backwards to go forwards through Nolan. Goes up the line towards the half-forward flank here for the Irish. Now half-back flank as it'll be over the boundary line and out of bounds. Lasso free kick going the way of Great Britain. And taking it there is Mel Gonzalez-Leyenda. She's going to have to move things quickly. There's only 10 minutes remaining in this game, and they need 3 straight goals, Great Britain. Ireland have just got to kill the clock, and they are home. Here's the kick out towards centre wing. Marie Keating, the experience showing again. Gets on the left boot. It wasn't 15. Got to play on there through Condon. Short little mark here taken by Lawler. Lawler put it on the right boot. Here's a mark, and it's taken here by Kendrick. 25 metres out from goal, directly in front.
Yeah, beautiful football again by Ireland. Succession of marks, and again it starts with that great work of Condon and might finish with great work from Kendrick, as she had a goal earlier and she's looking for number 2 on the day, and this could really take it home for Ireland. Kick is up, and that looks good. That is through. Goal for Shauna Kendrick. Ireland's 6th major score of the day, 6-3-39, 2-5-17. Is that going to be all for us today, Peter Holden?
Well, I'm not officially saying the last rites, but the priest has parked his car in the car park. I think she might all be over here for Great Britain. It's not impossible, but it's pretty close to it. There's Shauna Kendrick directly in front. She's played the 2019 and 2022 AFL European Championships. She knows how to get the job done over Great Britain, and it looks like it's pretty much heading that way. Umpires blows the whistle for a 666 infringement warning against Great Britain, so they don't give away the free kick yet. You get 1 warning, as it's now taken away here by Marie Keating. Big boot, but only to be intercepted. Mark just swallowed there. Kate Franklin for the Great Britain Swans. Got to move it quickly. You only got 8.5 minutes and you've got to find 4 goals somehow. And remember, each goal you're probably going to lose about 30 seconds with the umpire bringing the ball back to the middle of the ground. Umpire says downfield. Free kick going the way of the Irish. And it's going to get into the hands here of Quiva Condon, who already got one so far today. Condon is 60 metres out from goal, half-forward flank, Lake Ontario side of the ground. Going to the visitmississauga.ca end. It goes with the kick, and it's a beautiful pass. Hitting on the chest here of Annie Walsh. Oh dear, do I ever get the feeling the Swans have put the cue on the rack?
Annie Walsh has been tremendous for Ireland today. She's got an opportunity for another big kick here. Ball will go up, and way into the air it goes, and where is that going to land? It looks like it's off of British hands, and they'll get an opportunity to try to clear it out. Here, out in front of the goal square, as ball will dribble over the line, and or correction, did that dribble over the line?
Free kick going to Stevenson.
Yeah, that's another big opportunity for Stevenson. She knows how to kick goals. Maybe a bit of a tricky angle here, but she certainly has favorable proximity as the ball will be kicked up, and that goes through, it looks like, for a major score. Another goal for Shannon Stevenson. Irish may be home now. 7-3, 45 to 5-17.
Here on the Payable Apps scoreboard, helping sports teams simplify fee collection through their Google add-ons, payableapps.com. Stevenson getting on the scoreboard. Of course, as we said, she's been the leading goal kicker in Ireland for the last 3 seasons, and she's pretty much put the nail in the coffin now. There, Stevenson just runs around, opens up the angle and says, thank you very much. This means that Ireland will play the winner of our next game coming up at 2 p.m. between the Canada Northern Lights and the USA Freedom. For Great Britain, they have a game on Saturday with France in a consolation match. Ball heading out towards the centre wing on the Lake Ontario side of the ground. Condon yet again now has the football, kicks around the corner. Franklin got it there for the British, kicked it up the line, bouncing football, Keating, got smacked away from her. Going in there's Anne-Marie Troy. Troy all over the football. She's asking, did she get it in the back? And the umpire blows the whistle and indicates it is, in fact, going the way of. He's pointing one way when he should be pointing the other way, I think. Let's find out what's going on. There's a conversation. It's the umpire off the ball that's given a free kick here. So it will be going the way of Anne-Marie Troy for Ireland.
And I do wonder if the Great Britain spirits have been broken, so to speak, by the play of the Irish here in this fourth quarter. Ireland going to keep the pressure on. Of course, not as much urgency. They know they have the lead, and they look to be pretty comfortable in that right now. Ball kicking towards forward 54, Team Ireland. Handball move forward. It's going to be British hands on it, as that was Emma Brooks with it, as the ball will bounce its way out towards the right side of the field. It's picked up by Brosnan, the captain for Ireland. Handball option comes back to Brosnan. Give and go. Large boot comes out. Will that go to the goal square? Ball comes, finds hands. It's free for the taking. That's Shannon Stevenson again. That's another goal for Ireland. 8-3, 51 to 5-17. The Irish certainly home now. The golden boot, so to speak. And that was Stevenson again. Team Ireland in full command here in the fourth quarter.
And that's on our Payable Apps scoreboard, helping sports teams simplify fee collection through their Google add-ons, payableapps.com. As you see here on the replay, thanks to the production team at There Live, fell into space. Here's the goal sneak on the left boot. She knew it was coming. The British caught napping once again. She's all over Red Rover here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park. Under 5 minutes remaining in this final term, 8-3-51 to 2-5-17. Umpires for the football back again to call ball up. As you can see, the freshly painted centre circle in the middle of the ground. We're using the 2 outer circles to try and preserve the middle of the ground because we had 30 games to play over 10 days. We're just still on day 7 of 10, believe it or not. Actually, I can believe it. It does feel like day 7 of 10. It's been a long campaign, not for the commentators. I can feel for the players who are having to play 5 games in really 9 days on their respective sides of the draw. Here's the hurry kick here by Annie Walsh. Walsh wants to go in the pocket again. Stevenson, someone get a hose. The woman's on fire.
She has been unbelievable in this tournament for Ireland, and coming through here at the key time. She'll have an opportunity here to further ice this lead, bring it home as the ball will be kicked from the left side of the field going through. That does look pretty good. That's another goal for Shannon Stevenson. Third of the afternoon. Ireland just padding the stats now. 9-3, 57 to 5-17. 40-point lead for the Irish.
If you haven't already, crack out the Guinness. The Irish are going to the grand final. Will it be a rematch with the 2017 AFL International Cup Grand Final and a team that beat them in 2014? That long rivalry between Ireland and Canada. Or will it be the USA Freedom to upset the apple cart and meet Ireland? We'll find out at 2 p.m. in the other semi-final. As we said, Great Britain will be playing France on Saturday. The women's grand finals at 11:45 a.m. on Sunday. That's Toronto time. 66 infringement against the British. And that means it'll be an Irish free kick. And this occasion, it's going to be with Leisha Casserly. Casserly on the left boot, wants to go with a pass, works out okay. Let's talk about Leisha Casserly. She first played Aussie rules in Finland, of all places.
Yeah, the burgeoning Aussie football hotbed of Finland as a kick towards forward 50. As the ball is being contested here, it'll come along the ground, and that is going to be racing with the ball is Cueva Condon. Who else today for Ireland? Ball is up off the handball as we have under 3 to go now, as Great Britain try to handball out of trouble. That was Sophie Bennett that was being swarmed there, as that was Rachel O'Shea doing some good work for Team Ireland. Will get a ball up. Ball will be contested around that 50-meter arc. British hands are up and didn't have much opportunity to do that. Did the British player Freya Hebard, so we'll get another ball up. And it's going to come off of Irish hands as, again, the action happening around that 50-meter arc comes up into Great Britain's Katie Murdoch, who has a goal in this contest, and she's being wrapped there by Alish Dunn, but she'll get an opportunity to get a free kick from the defensive 50.
Katie Murdoch with the ball, and stick around post-game. We'll also have an interview with the Powerwood MVP. Here's the kick out towards the centre wing position. Just went through the hands there and having to go back and get it again. Cueva Condon moved it out towards the half-forward flank position. Walsh just doing a little bit of shepherding work instead of going to pick up the football. In there as well was Sophie Bennett. A little kick off the carpet, trying to chase afterwards is Callagher. Going with her is Anne-Marie Troy. Troy might almost be caught here. Got rid of the hand pass. The umpire, you heard, say play on. Now Rachel O'Shea. Now swings around the left boot. Wants to come inside 50 with a kick. Bouncing football. Lizzie Toms came out to meet it. Now here's an opportunity for the Irish. They swing around towards goal. One bounces away to the right-hand side. Ball still managing to stay in play, and they'll clear the last line of defence with a kick towards the There Live broadcast side of the ground. It's a bouncing ball between half-back flank and centre wing here for the British. Oh, without the football clearly here, and the umpire says you get a free kick on Iona Williams, and she'll look to go up the line.
Yeah, no ball being held by Williams there. That's why there's a free kick, as she'll boot it along the left boundary. Ball comes up. McInerney in the marking contest as it comes out to Irish hands. I think it's Power with the ball, and actually it's not going to be anybody's clean possession. And Power will hand the ball back to the umpire as we're crossing into the final minute. It looks like here, of course, that time is unofficial, but don't know if that's going to matter in this case as it's pushed forward by Great Britain. Here's Hannah Layton with the ball for the Brits. It'll be kicked out into the 50-meter arc, past the 50-meter arc, as the ball will end up on the boots by Kaylee Elmer as the ball being taken away by the wind. Takes a really strange bounce. McInerney's after it now. She's feeling the power from Team Ireland as it was Dara Power with a big tackle here as we're coming up to the final 30 seconds of the game.
Umpire looks to throw the football up as we count down the seconds here in the first semi-final of the women's division at the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup, presented by Payable Apps. Hurry kick, doesn't go anywhere. You're waiting on the outside. Trying to get in there, Geddes, can't quite get the football out. Umpire blows the whistle again, says, I'll take the football back, please. The countdown is on. The Irish will be celebrating. They find themselves in another grand final, this time in the Transatlantic Cup semi-final, the grand final rather. Leighton, hurry kick, and it's over! 9-3, 57 to 2-5-17. A 40-point win to the Irish. Patrick McNeil, if you asked us 1 minute into that final quarter if that would be the margin, I would not believe you. It was the British that were attacking early. We thought game on, and then the Irish have showed us why they are the current European champions and still the reigning International Cup champions.
What a dominating performance from Team Ireland. It wasn't necessarily easy. They had to deal with that Great Britain surge at the end of the first half. They had to deal with some injury concerns, but ultimately the experience, superior ball movement, just superior numbers and technique. Team Ireland, a thorough victory today. Full marks for their appearance in the final coming up. And as I said, they do get 2 days now to sit back and think about when they play Canada or the USA. That's coming up on Sunday, as Great Britain will get to play France in a consolation match. What a performance for Team Ireland. Full marks for a victory today. 9-3, 5-7. 25-17.
Let's have a look at the highlights of the Irish goals here, because it was really just party time for the Irish in this final quarter. There's that little snap there by Caoimhe Condon. She's already kicked. Isn't this beautiful shot on goal that cleared the pack there in the second term? That one for Annie Walsh. Here's another opportunity where they've just opened up the play. This was Walsh's time going over the top to Kendra. Kendra kicked 2 for the day. Ran into an open goal square. Boom. Hurt the Irish. That one Tetlow was off the ground. Here's another shot on goal. That was Kendrick's second for the day, and I think that might have been the backbreaker to seal the game over the British. As we go through the total goal kickers, there's Stevenson. She kicked 3 in the final quarter to go along with Kendrick's 2 singles, of course, to Walsh, O'Shea, Condon, and Tash Byrne. As they do their hip arrays, we'll be catching up very shortly with our Powerwood MVP. We're going to keep that little secret from you until Brian Barish is in position and ready. But from what you saw of the Irish, are you impressed considering the amount of injuries? We saw Danny Dandy go down. We thought, oh no, it's going to be like the men. They're going to be battered and bruised. Somehow the Irish win in the final quarter. Just go, here's another gear and away we go.
Yeah, what great depth on this Irish side. So many women doing great work in the forward lines. We talked about Condon doing great work on the wing as well. Just so impressive in every facet of the game. And, you know, if you're Canada or the U.S., you're obviously preparing for your own game, but definitely pretty intimidating, the prospect of having to take on this team that were IC champions in 2017 and looking to stake their claim to be inaugural Transatlantic Cup champions in 2024.
And for the Great Britain team, that's got a sting. I mean, they've been playing well this tournament. They caused an upset along the way as well when they beat Canada, and all of a sudden looks like this was going to be the time they're going to throw it down to Ireland. They had a close semi-final against them in 2017 in the International Cup, and it looks like we were set for that for the final quarter. And then it just seemed to be one player coming from the ground brought everything undone. It brought their structure undone in Beth Tetlow, and that hurt them. And it's not to rob, obviously, the great player of the Irish. It just seemed to wreck their confidence, and they just slowly began to implode.
Yeah, and Brian had talked about that on the boundary, too. Tetlow really kind of anchoring things for Great Britain, and key loss. And we knew that was going to be a factor. This is a long/short tournament. You're playing a lot of games in a short period of time, and, you know, not to discredit Ireland, but you go down a key player, and sometimes that absence can be a little bit much to overcome. And as I said, too, Ireland just did a great job of halting that Great Britain momentum. It looked like there was that real surge coming in at halftime, and it goes in the third quarter, goes to Ireland. They really take it home in that fourth quarter, and left really no doubt as to who the better team was today.
Coming up at 2 p.m. Toronto time, we have got Canada Northern Lights taking on the USA Freedom. The winner of that game will meet the Irish Banshees to play off in the grand final for the 2024 Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps Championship. As we know, Great Britain will play France. The loser of the game between Canada and the USA will have a game with Colombia. That game to be played on Saturday as part of the consolation matches. As you can see, they're singing a song on the road, aren't they, the Irish girls again? It just always seems to be that the silverware is going to them. But I do want to make mention, though, before we got coming up to the next game, that this year is the 10th anniversary of when the Canada Northern Lights beat the Irish Banshees in the 2014 AFL International Cup. That's the only time the Irish have virtually been stopped at international level.
Well, they know it's going to be a battle whether they play Canada or USA. I don't think there's any question about that. This is not going to be any sort of walkover in the final, but they're staking their claim with a dominant performance. And, of course, we saw Canada hand a loss to the Banshees in the round robin, but they have another battle to come up on Sunday for the final.
We might take this opportunity to head down boundary side where we've got Brian Barish. He's got the Powerwood MVP.
And our Powerwood to be fight. Reverse of the U.S. game, like all of a sudden they kind of came from behind a little bit and really put the pressure on. What was the talk like in that? Two and a half days to rest. What's the mindset going to be? What are you guys going to do to get ready? I mean, obviously you'll know in a couple hours. Caoimhe, once again, congratulations, MVP for Powerwood.
Thank you very much there to Brian Barish on the boundary line, and we apologise due to the technical issues, a little bit too far from our broadcast position, and I think we may have to have a quiet word with the coaches of all the teams before the games to say, bring your players towards the broadcast tent, not to the furthest side. As we say, those who can commentate. Those who can produce broadcast. Coaches, just stay coaching.
Well, we do, Brian. I don't know if Brian's still hooked in here. Brian, can you maybe give us the Cole's Notes version of what our Powerwood MVP had to say?
Yeah, she said that just keep applying the pressure, and I asked at the end what they were going to do over the next couple of days because they have 2.5 days off. They said they're going to take a break tonight, just relax, probably not talk about football, and then come back against whoever they play in the final.
Yeah, it's a unique opportunity for them with the 2 days off. And again, that is Quiva Condon, the game MVP, courtesy of Powerwood Custom Cedar Supplies, done right there, based in Western Canada. They've donated hand-carved trophies for each game MVP. Visit powerwood.com for more information.
So the final score here, Ireland 9-3-57, defeating Great Britain 2-5-17. First of all, Brian Barish, thank you very much for your work on the boundary today. And to Patrick Windiel, thank you very much for calling alongside me. But you're going to be sticking around with Brian and, of course, David Smith on the boundary line to bring us this great showdown on the women's side, semi-final 2, Canada Northern Lights, USA Freedom.
Yeah, I drew the long straw today, Peter. That's why I get to call 2 excellent games of football here in this semi-final. And a lot of intensity in this game between 2 rivals that we just saw, and it's going to be the same when Canada takes on the USA.
I'm Peter Holden on behalf of the ETHEN Live production team. Thanks very much for your company for this semi-final. Stay around on the AFL Canada YouTube page. Coming up at 2 p.m, you've got Canada versus the USA.